There was a missing persons case one time that I was doing. Everybody presumed this child, teenager, was a goner. Everybody was saying, no, we'll have to be, what? I said where to go, and the area. I didn't say exactly on that one, but I said that area. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. And I kept begging them not to give it. They did find the person. It was like a couple. It was actually a couple of weeks later. Everyone thought I was crazy and kept saying, "No, they're alive. They're alive." Now, I always taught my children one thing: never make fun of somebody, whatever level they're in. Even a homeless person on a street. I remember when my son was little, we were in the subways in Manhattan, and he looked at me and he said, "Mom, give me $1." And I was like, "For what?" He goes, "Just give it to me." I gave it to him, and he walked up to a homeless person and said, "Here." I've always taught them, the person you're laughing at, the person you are just, you know how people were to you in the past, Loco? The people that were kicking you down. I always say, never do that. God has a funny way of making people win and making people lose whenever He feels like it. Now's your time to win. Never know when someone's luck. I learned that firsthand. You remember that song, "Everybody Dance Now," boom, boom, boom. I remember the producer of that song, and his best friend was J. Cole, I don't know if it was J. Cole, I know it was Cole. And him and his friend used to sit, when I met them, with the piano every night, all night. The producer was a year older than me, okay? Excuse me, a year younger than me. I was in my 20s and I thought I was really cool and I thought I was really mature, and he was a year younger than me, so that made him too young for me. I had a problem with my head at that time. And he kept wanting to go out with me. Let's go for dinner. Let's go for dinner. I'm like, you're a kid. What? Stupid me. He's a year younger than me. How much of a kid is he? Anyway, he kept telling me he's going to be this producer and this music. And I'm like, yeah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I'm sitting in my den watching TV one day, and the music awards came on. Who do I see get on stage? Nothing but him. I was like, yo, I screwed up. His sister happens to be named Marcella, so when I did call him and I wanted to congratulate him, first he didn't want to get on the phone, and I had to say, tell him it's not his sister, it's his friend. But yeah, I mean, like, he had hard times after that. He had some issues going on, but that was my turnaround in realizing that never make fun of anybody. You don't know where they're going to end up. Yeah, and like I was telling some people this morning in readings, some of my readings this morning were, people are broken up, they're alone, and yes, there are times when you're alone, you will see a couple or something in the park, and you'll say, why can't I find somebody? Or you start thinking about the ex, but always remember when you think about the ex, how that person became your ex. Never turn it back around and never feel sorry. Music is life. Music is touches your soul. It's something that you just don't say or think. It's a feeling. Music brings that feeling where you're connecting to your soul. I tell everybody, you might never get an answer what happened, and that's okay. Not everything needs an answer. The answer you need to know is you broke away, like when people are in such a bad relationship, mentally or physically abusive. You say the only answer you need to know is you finally was able to leave. Everything else is irrelevant. But that goes back to people getting so still into drama. They live by it. Their day is boring unless they see someone upset, or they're upset and they're fighting and they're telling somebody, did you know what this one did? And it could go on and on and on. Are you afraid of readings? That's okay. And I'm going to tell you something, Vieira, about being afraid of readings. It says one thing. Not trying to convince you about readings or anything, to believe in anything, but it says one thing. You try to stay positive at all times. And it's almost like a superstition to you, if that makes sense. That you're afraid that if something's going to be said wrong, things could go upside down. So it's almost like you protecting yourself, and that's cool. Because I'll be honest with you, you could have somebody, and you've got to be careful with who you go to. There are readers that will mess you up. There are readers that will throw you off. I had this one, well, she wasn't competition, but for some reason this woman thinks she's my competition. She tried to take a few of my clients. Of course, they come back and tell me what she's saying. She was trolling me for a while. I wouldn't be surprised she finds me here. This woman purposely, and I know it, and other clients that went to her and came back to me told me that she would tell them things. This is why I say I don't want to read your thoughts. She would tell what they wanted to hear. She would give advice to make couples fight so they would come back. So you really got to be careful as well on who you trust and who you reading. Here and there, I could tell you, you could do this meditation to feel better, this thing to feel better. But in all honesty, it's up to you whether you want to feel better or not. No candles, no meditation, no EFT tapping, none of that unless you really want to make a change within inside yourself. So I always tell people, if you go to psychics, if you're a psychic lover, you go to psychics, have one and one just in case for emergencies you feel like you need to speak to one. Don't go psychic hopping, they'll drive you crazy. I know nobody could read for me right now. This one person can, and believe me, you know when he can? When he's in a good mood. If his life is going upside down, I will guarantee you he'll tell me something's going to go wrong, which is not true. But you see what I'm saying? Some people, if they are in a real bad mood, things not going, they could tell you anything. So yeah, you have a point there, Vieira. Very much have a point. Because you're a person that is focused and you want to stay positive all the time and you don't want no distractions. That's great. You're very self-confident about things. We all have our own abilities, Logan. Sometimes when we have too much going on, you're still psychic, Logan. You still have it in you. You just might not be grounded enough because everyone... I call it static in your ear. Everyone's saying something to you and you're not thinking to yourself. You can't buy themselves if someone has to give you them to you. Is that true? No, that's not true, Ganja. People like Loco has sent me something about, what people say spiritually. It was funny. People are making up so much. It starts with the candles and the incense and the words, and then they're going to talk in riddles. I love when they do that. They're going to use big spiritual words. Well, how about the ones that post on Facebook? They'll post like a page with all these spiritual world in the sixth dimension and the entities of this, and they'll go on and on. They'll just create this nothing And the end of this whole big page that they sat there and wrote makes a damn sense. But the way they put it together, you'd be like, wow, they must know a lot. No, they just bullshitters. And this is what happens. You know, keep it real. Talk real, keep it real. If you're psychic, you will get messages. And if you don't get messages, it's okay to say, I don't get it. I don't get it. That's it. I don't get it. Maybe I'm not supposed to get a message, but people will try anything. So many games. And I hate all these damn new words they put into the metaphysical new age book of language. I think they should have a book of that if they haven't already. But seriously, all this stuff, it's crazy. And they're selling people this. Really, I've seen people come to be half nuts, and even what I'll tell them, they'll still go back to the person that caused them to be fearful and drama. You know, nothing you really need to be afraid of in this life. People cause their own anxieties, and I do get anxieties. I think I get anxieties from being psychic all the time. I pick up things, and I can get anxieties as well. But it's how to control it. It is very sad, and it is. But you know what? Everybody's an adult, and in any conversation, even in even in you know, when you're just bullshitting with friends conversation, you have the choice to take what you need for yourself and go deaf on everything else that you heard. This is what you need to do. You know, it's like listening to the news. You could listen to what you want to hear and leave the rest out. You have to decipher as an adult, more or less what you want to believe, what you want, and everybody's entitled to believe in whatever they want. My advice to people who are very, 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 very upset and desperate: if you don't know the psychic, do not open up and tell them how hurt and how upset you are and what's going on. You just open a door for a fake psychic, more or less. If the person brings it up, and you could say, yeah, you're right, but oftentimes people will start saying their life story, and I'm like, no, 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 shut up. I don't want to hear it yet. Let me start. Let me start this. I don't need to. Why come to me if you want to tell me everything? I want to tell you what's going to happen. What are psychics? What are psychics? Google it. But people do live in a fear, in fear a lot in their life, and if they take the fear out, they would see a very open space for them to roam and be happy. But people do live in closed areas where some people live in a box, some people live out of a box. Me, I don't have a damn box. I'll do what I want. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I'll do it anyway. You know, so that's the difference. It's like going back to, like, I enjoy skydiving. I like it. It's my hobby. People ask me all the time, aren't you afraid? To me, it's the biggest thrill. I'm not afraid. I don't live in fear. What's going to be is going to be. You physically live in a box because of your parents. You're living in their house. But your mind doesn't have to live in that box. Like you say, you write, you do music. Open that up and take that step to take it to the next level. Worst comes to worst, they say they're not interested in your song. Maybe 5, 6 songs they won't be interested in it. Then the 7th song, hey, you just wrote a song that maybe Drake is going to sing. You know what I'm saying? And there goes your world opening up. And mean an astronaut or an alien? Ganja. So it doesn't have to be your mind. When I say living in a box, it doesn't necessarily have to be. It's not like you don't want to open that box and spread your wings. You do. There are people that I know that I grew up with is sitting in the same town with the same few people that never left, talking to the same school teachers that they had and their children, their grandchildren had. They just don't see the outer picture. Their vacation might be an hour away. They don't want to even get on a plane to fly because they're afraid of flying. And that is a phobia for some people. But how do you conquer it? You get on the damn plane and be scared out of your mind and know you're going to land. And then you start to conquer it. It's like when you were a kid, you fell off a bicycle. You banged your head, you scraped your knee. Did that stop you? No, you wanted to have fun. You got right back on, bloody and all. Same thing in life. People forget that. And everybody has some sort of talent. Everybody has some sort of talent that they could shine. And when they have some sort of talent and they could shine, that's the talent they need to use. Each one of us was born with something. And when you find what that thing is, go for it. That's what I'm saying. You find what you're good at. You find what you're talented and that you shine and people notice. Go for it. And that's what I have to say. This is what happens. You know, it's the closest ones always that will doubt you. Maybe they doubt themselves, like if you didn't make it big, maybe I lose my child or something. Maybe she's just being nice. For whatever reason. Don't have to look too far to see where she's coming from. It's usually, and it's 9 times out of 10, it's usually your own family is not going to give you the credit for you want. Why? I don't know. Maybe the reason is so you push harder. And there will always be someone that will show up in your life. Someone you don't know that will give you either advice or help you or send you to someone they know. It's always going to be a stranger that's going to bring you up. And you say to yourself, well, it's not my friends, it's not my family. But it's always God has a way of putting people in your path and to follow your goals. And it's up to you whether you want to go that way. I was born with this. I was saying things at a very young age. Born with it. I just remember playing with spirits, and now like I remember when I was playing with spirits as a little kid. Thank you, Logan. Now they got a name for it. Okay, I want everybody to know. Did you ever hear of the crystal children? Basically, children are open, and some children can see. I used to say, you know, I'm busy to my mother. I'm playing with my 3 friends, and I had 3 spirits that would always sit there and play with me. They would laugh at me. My family would laugh at me completely. She's cool. She's nuts. Now they have something called the crystal children. It's the same thing. These kids are psychic, but they gave them a name. You see what I'm saying? Everybody needs a title. Everybody needs a label. It's sad. And they're going to create anything to make themselves be more spiritual than the next person. And it's a crock of shit, if you ask me. Just say your kid is psychic. They're not a crystal child. But hey, you know, you want to call your kid a crystal child, go ahead. But this is what I'm being sarcastic, but this is what I'm saying. People are making up a lot of different things to explain what was around for years, but now they need names. Caused me trouble growing up, probably, yes. Teased. Family members thought I was nuts. A few times I told my mother about her boyfriends and didn't go over too well. You know, I was a jealous daughter. Not that I told her best friend was going to marry her boyfriend, and sure enough, it happened. That's when she finally, exactly when my mother finally said, "How the hell did you know?" I'm like, "Well, how did I know everything else I've been telling you? Now it's registering." I mean, I've told you enough. You haven't figured it out. So yeah, it was hard because like when you saw, you know, as a kid, you know, your home base was your family. No matter how screwed up the family was, it was still your family. So you always try to say something, and it was always like, "You're crazy." Shut the up, you know. But this is how it was. Now everybody's into it. Not everybody, but you know. It all depends, Effie. There's been a few cases where I had to tell people. I won't say it unless Spirit tells me to say it, but I won't come out and say it. I'm no one to say that. Um, I might not come straight out and say it. Like, let's say someone's in the hospital and they say, "Can you tell me how bad it's going to be?" And I might come out and say, "Expect the unexpected," or either way, you should be prepared. If not this time, there'll be another time. They will let me know the guys, when I bring the guys in to speak, they will let me know whether to say or not to say. Normally, on most occasions, I don't go into anything like that. Only on very, very, very special occasions will I go into something like that. I don't like to say things like that. And ultimately, anything can change. You know, God gives and God takes. So I'm not one to make that judgment. But I had on some occasions where it was necessary to say, um, I can't call that shot. You know, if God changes his mind and says, "Hey, you're going to live," you're going to live. No matter what I said. So I can't do that. There was a missing persons case one time that I was doing. Everybody presumed this child, teenager, was a goner. Everybody was saying, "No, we'll have to be, we'll have to be what?" I said where to go, and the area. I didn't say exactly on that one, but I said that area. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. And I kept begging them not to give it. They did find the person. It was like a couple. It was actually a couple of weeks later. Everyone thought I was crazy and kept saying, "No, they're alive. They're alive," and they were. So if I had to look into something like that, but otherwise than that, I don't like to go into that. If it means to help somebody who's missing, yeah, I will put my whole into it to look into it. It's like those three girls in Ohio that got found a couple of years ago from that crazy guy that kept them in the house. There was one big psychic. I forgot her name. She was a big psychic. I forgot who it was. Actually, I think it was on like a talk show. Maybe it was Oprah or some talk show. She told the family those girls were dead, and look, they found them a couple of years ago. Um, so you see how screwed up some things with psychics can be. I will not say nothing unless I especially something like that, unless I'm like 90% positive. The psychic was fake. Probably it was so long they didn't find him. So yeah, she's gonna say it like that. And they weren't. That's in God's hands. That's above anything I could come close to. So I don't go there that much. Not that much. I could count how many times I had to. There are a lot of them that fake. Some of them could have talent to a certain point. Some of them could only read what your thoughts are. Um, some of them could look at you straight out and come out and tell you everything, and you know they're real. I know you're working on yourself, but I'm just talking about in general. If anybody wants to, I know, Logan. If anybody wants to book a reading, you could read all about me at Psychic Massada, MASSADA.com. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, there's only a few videos on it. I'm working. I just got it up a couple of days ago, and I'm trying to work on it. You could also subscribe to me there. But I do go into channeling in my private readings. You could read all about it. You could read about all those testimonies on my website. They are from real people. And it's also, Effie, how you feel. How you feel with the psychic. If you get along with the psychic, that's also something. If you don't get along with the psychic, you got to be, like I said, you got to be careful of a lot of tricksters out there. A lot of them will try to mess up your relationship just to get it messed up for you to come back. Again, even with me, you can read about me. I know what I'm talking about. But even with me, I will tell you, what I say that doesn't make sense, don't think about it. It will come to pass. I could give you advice. I could see something going on and tell you it's a wrong move. You could take what you want and you could leave what you want. No one's telling you you have to listen to me totally. But you'll have that gut feeling either way. But if I see something that's not good or someone that's not good around you, I'm not going to tell you break up with them. Do not ask me to say, should I leave them? That's your call. I can't tell someone to leave them. When you're ready, you will. I could tell you I don't feel this is the best person. I could tell you what this person is doing. I could tell you a lot. But if you ask me, should I leave them? That's up to you. I give you enough to see. And what I will tell you is things that you've already had probably picked up anyway, but haven't really taken notice. I've told people that this person's married. They yelled at me. Who do you think you are? You don't know him. A month later, comes back, I'm sorry, can I have another reading? Why? You yelled at me. You told me I was wrong. Yeah, well, you were right. And I went to 3 other psychics, and they told me and him are going to be together. But you were right. His wife came, and we had a big fight. Really? Surprise, surprise. You see what I'm saying? So, but come on. If there's certain signs, you don't even have to be a psychic to know if someone is not being truthful with things. So, with anything in life, for everybody, take what's good for you, and what's not good for you, don't take it inside too deep. Whether you go to school, you go to work, whatever you do in life, this is how it should be. Usually, Effie, the person that will come in will never come in and curse you. Never come in and hurt you. And that's if they will come in. Sometimes they will. Sometimes I will say they're not coming in. Sometimes I had readings they wouldn't come in. And then, like, a few hours later, that spirit will come and talk to me. And then I would pick up the phone and contact the person and say, listen, I just got the message now. For some reason, they didn't want to come around, or whatever the situation was. If I do get a message about somebody, I need to go find them and tell them whether they like it or not. I don't go to a total stranger. If it's somebody that came to me and then like 2 weeks later I get something, I will tell them, I just got a message. Like, for instance, a friend of mine, I got a message. Call and to ask her if, write to her message. She's in America. See if she's okay. And I kept saying, why? Is something wrong? Is something wrong? I couldn't get the answer. All I just kept hearing is just see if she's okay. Exactly as I was writing, are you okay? And press send. She sent me, I need to have a reading. I'm depressed. So I was picking it up. But you see, things like that. Yeah. Focus on you now. Focus on your dreams. Focus where you want to go. Very often, when we're ready to make it, and get to where we want to be, you will see everyone come out of the woodworks. All of a sudden, everyone's going to start looking for you. New people, old people. That's basically a confirmation. It's like you're being tested. The more people talk about you, and even if it's bad, they need to see you. They need to come back and look. It means, hey, ding dong, getting closer to where I want to get to. I always tell my haters, keep hating me. I love you. You're helping me. Yeah, sometimes they can say things. I'm comfortable with myself. You know, I'm not going to be everybody's friend. Not everybody's gonna like me. Not everyone's gonna think I'm a decent person, whatever. But you know what? Oh, shit, keep talking about me. So, you know, this is life. I can't make like when my kids were little and they would say, I hate you, Mom, when I would tell them not to do something. I'm like, well, you can't make everybody love me. Okay, so you don't love me. And they would get so mad when I say that. Because that's the way it is. Everybody's allowed to have their own opinions. I mean, if half these people who made it, like these big singers and stuff, if half of them took everything personal, they wouldn't be where they are. You gotta have tough skin to get somewhere. That's how I look at it. What's the worst? Someone's gonna say something bad about me? Ooh, ooh, that hurts. So it hurts. It doesn't hurt actually. Like I say, when they talk about you, just know. I had a lot of psychics, fake psychics. For all I know, that some of them are coming on here. They were trolling me on my Facebook, but seriously giving me help. This is the way it is. When people are doing good, when people are living their life, people want to interfere with it. You have to have hard skin. If you're going to let everybody say something, especially people on the internet that don't know you say something, then you know what? Then I shouldn't be here. If I let them control me like that, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't even walk out of my house if I'm going to let everybody say something bad about me and I'm going to take it to heart. I'm laughing at it. I like it. This is what I'm saying a lot of times. Change that bad thing. Like people say, oh my God, they're talking about me. Change it into a positive thing. Look at it from like a broken piece of glass. You're putting it up to the light. And look at it from a different perspective. You might find it pretty amusing. Yeah, it kind of did. I think I drove them nuts. It kind of, yeah, the army can make you strong. Living in this country has really made you strong because I tell you what, they're not so nice here. It's not a nice place here. And it does make you strong. So between the two, the army and living in such a hostile environment, I should say. It's not like it's guns and everything, but it's hostile. People are always nasty here. They're completely nasty here. So you learn to say, haha, yeah, liars, nasty, the whole 9 yards. So you learn. And again, if I can't take someone insulting me, then excuse my language, then to me I'm a piece of shit if I can't take it. Excuse my language, the way I have to say it. You have to take it. And the more people come at you, and do this, to me, it's my confirmation saying, okay, I'm on the right track. I'm doing my thing, and people are sending people. These trolls are not coming. Some of them will come as themselves. Some of them, be sure when you're getting trolled, somebody's behind that person setting them up to troll you. For some reason, it's probably a hater of mine. So, not always. It's just sometimes it's a bunch of kids. Summer's out. There's a bunch of kids, they come on. But there's a lot of that. So, if you want, you have to be strong. Why should someone say, "Oh, well, you didn't shave your arms"? I know, yeah, I shaved my arms yesterday. So, what do I care? And you know what? If I was French, I probably wouldn't shave it. They don't shave. But seriously, all kidding aside, it's just really, when someone trolls you, when someone does that, be happy. I look at it totally different. I'm happy as hell. That means I'm doing something right. Look, as much as I don't like to mention her name, Kim Kardashian, which I'm not a fan of, don't think she really had the brains. I think it was her publicist and her accountant that has the brains. But the truth is, the girl is smart. The girl is living good, doing her own thing, has her own business. Nothing is missing really out of her life but the fact that she doesn't love herself. But besides that, she's doing it. You know why? Everybody's talking about her, and she's laughing at everybody. She knows what she's doing. She's smarter than everybody. So you got to give her credit. She could have cracked the first time she got out there under the circumstances she did. Instead, she just turned it around and said, now I'm going to make you really feel sorry, and made it big. So I will not take that from that woman. Very smart. And that goes to show people, don't mess with people. You don't know what you're doing. You might just be building up themselves. The person you're hating and talking about, you're actually lifting them up. That's how I look at it. Anytime, in any situation, if someone's trying to make you feel bad, or you're feeling bad about a situation, let's say you didn't get the promotion you wanted, as hard as it could be at times, take that situation. Oh, I didn't get the promotion. This guy did. Why did he get it? Turn the lighting around. See it from a different side. Well, maybe if I got that, that means it would be more work, more responsibility, less time to be at home with the family, and for what, a few extra dollars, not even a whole lot, just for the title. I hear young people get upset about that all the time, and I pointed out to them, well, how much more would you get? $20 more a week? So what, you come in maybe $100, $200 more a week? Don't worry, there's taxes, they'll take that out. So you have a big responsibility, you have a title, and you don't get paid, and less time at home. So you always got to look, there's a reason for things, and there's always a good thing out of every bad thing. Sometimes it's hard to dig and find that good thing, but you can find it in time. I was born with this. When I was a little kid, I used to say, I'm playing with my friends. They were spirits. Then when I was, I must have been between 12 and 14 years old, somewhere around there. Guess I could find out if I looked up the dates. My grandfather was very sick. And he was in the hospital bed in the house until they took him to the hospital. I wasn't in a out-of-body experience. I was like half asleep, half awake, and I saw everything that went on in the hospital. And when he died, I went upstairs to my grandmother. I was laying in the bed that he was in. I don't know if that had anything to do with opening me up even more. Probably so. And I went up and I told my grandmother that Grandpa just died. She threw a shoe at me, slipper. And then she got the phone call 20 minutes later. After that, messages and names just was flying out of my mouth. Really, my at that time, you were psychic, you were weird. My family was not sure what was going on with me. And then, you know, it was, ironically, my mother started running into psychics and was explaining to her what was happening as the years went by, not right then and there. So yeah, it was always with me. Ever feel like you say to yourself, um, when you first meet somebody, or even a guy, a girl, whatever, you say, ever meet somebody and you say to yourself, I don't, something about this person I don't like. And then days and weeks go by and you start to get to know the person. And then you say, oh, maybe I was wrong. And then before you know it, that person does something to screw you over. And then you say, I knew it. Why didn't I listen to myself? This is little things to show you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, my eyes bad. Nadi, sorry. This is where, you know, you have to say to yourself, I should have listened. These are our gut instincts. Ever just get something in your stomach and you start getting like anxieties and you say, what the hell this is? Like, you know something's coming. Usually, if you feel like it's really bad, trust me, it's probably going to be something good. So when it's good, it's always the opposite. But we all have these little instincts that we don't listen to. How many times we get in a relationship and you see, you know, red flags left and right, and yet we avoid looking at reality if it's something that we don't want. But even though we don't want that something, we need to pay attention, because maybe, you know, if we pay attention, we can move all the garbage out of the way to get to what we actually want. Sometimes you want one certain person, and we'll do anything for that one certain person, and guess what? That person's not supposed to be for you. So you can't, when you get these signs and things one after another keeps going wrong. I laugh when a lot of people say, I'm trying so hard to make it work out. And they'll say it like after 4 or 5 years. Well, if you've been trying for 4 or 5 years, stop trying. So we all have this. It's just to develop knowing ourselves. I was just speaking to someone on my Facebook. They were telling me how an ex was coming back. And I always, you know, there will always be an ex that might want to come back. But you have to remind yourself, why is this person an ex? You have to know, and it's okay to be alone. It's not comfortable to be alone. But when you become alone, you become strong, and you really then are focused to getting what you want and having the people around you what you want. A lot of people have to go in and out of relationships. Like, I just broke up with this one. I don't have nobody, so they'll fall for anybody that's going to say some sweet things. Like yesterday, like I said, there was somebody on here, and I just felt a really bad, uncomfortable feeling with this person. I literally, somebody was on here, and this woman also saw it. Because she heard me say, well, I have to go and change this energy. She goes, yeah, go ahead. She noticed it too. There are people that can. I've read for people literally, and they told me, I'm stealing your energy. I know. There was one person, she used to come almost every day, and she would want to talk and stay on with me. And she didn't even want to read. She just wanted to talk, and she was way out there talking. No joke. I would go like this. My head, my eyes were closing, like it felt like something was hitting me. And after every time, I would tell, you know, until I finally told her, I can't read for you. You know, you're draining me. I would literally have to lay down. It just felt like I was knocked out. I had an ex-boyfriend. I used to be wide awake, ready to go out for the night. As soon as this person would come over, I don't know what it was. Just wanted to sleep. As soon as he leave, back up again. So I listened to myself and realized this person had very, very, very he had something bad around him, and I could not deal with it. So yeah, there are energy vampires. It's almost like when people have, which I'm a firm believer, I say it over and over again, people have the evil eye, a bad eye. Sometimes they don't know it, but sometimes you could be around a certain person, and every time you're around a certain person, things don't go good. they basically bad eyes. And even if you like that person, it will come down to a point: do I stay with this person as a friend, or do I avoid at all costs? Now I don't feel negativity, honestly. I'm feeling the energy is really, really good today. Um, just feel a little bit of, a lot of people are a little bit at the stage right now. I'm feeling today, a lot of people are just waiting. They're in limbo. It's like nothing's moving. They know something's moving. Everyone's getting a little bit anxious. I've had a few readings this morning with the same situation. And like I said, I do feel the energy shifting universally. And I do feel that it's just going to turn overnight for a lot of people. Just like literally overnight, things are just going to break open for them. And that's why I say just flow. Don't think, do you. Try to make yourself happy. Don't distract yourself with thoughts of things or people from the past as much as possible now, because I do feel a lot of breakthroughs are ready to happen very soon. You see, you could take fear, not with what we were just talking about, but you could take fear of when you're afraid of things, when you have a phobia or things, and the best way is to just hit it head on. So yeah, my adventure will be eventually, when I get the opportunity to deep sea dive. I'm afraid of sharks. I'm afraid of big fish. Though I like a few fishes. I like turtles, dolphins. But the more meaner ones, I'm a little bit afraid of. But it is a beautiful world there, and I would love to just face that fear. It's good if you face your fears. I am afraid of sharks. I think I'm afraid of sharks because I grew up in New York. And when the movie Jaws came out, we had a boat. My mother took me and my brothers one day out to I lived on Long Island. There's a thing called Fire Island. It's a little island off Long Island. And I was a kid. Jaws was coming out. Everybody's talking about Jaws. And we were swimming in the ocean. And I see everybody running out. Of course, I was a weird child. And I still don't go with the crowd. I'm always doing something against the grain. And everybody was running out. And my mother's screaming, "Get out, get out, get out." And I'm watching everybody run out. And I was very naive. I mean, most likely, I was probably thinking everybody was hungry at the same time, because my mind was not thinking seriously. Never does. And all of a sudden I turned around, and a few feet, it was far enough still, but it was very close, that I saw a shark's fin sticking out of the water. I just remember my mother grabbing me by my hair and pulling me out, screaming, "What the hell is wrong with you?" Since then, I have a fear of sharks. And plus, I one time stepped on a sea urchin, which I never knew there was a sea urchin. It looks like a plant that's underwater, but it has needles. And I walked right into it. And I had a lot of needles that needed to be pulled out of my foot. So, yeah, I have some frightening things about the ocean, but I want to go and I want to see it. I want to actually, as scared as I am, I want to deep sea dive, and I want to see a shark. I want to face it head on. I know it's probably going to be beautiful, but I'd probably be scared. But then again, I like the adrenaline rush. Actually, I think I want to do it because of the adrenaline rush. I have a habit, sort of adrenaline junkie at times. So I like to get that rush. I think black cats are actually good signs. People say they're not. I think they're very good signs. I don't believe in that superstition. Cats actually protect you from bad spirits, bad eyes. They are good. Do not be afraid of a black cat. I love black cats. I think they're more powerful. Just pick it up. More connected to the earth and the universe. Yeah, I love their green eyes. Their green eyes are just awesome. Look at them. Black cats are so, 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 so mystical. I like red cats. I like, red and white cat. I like all cats, but something about a black cat and those green eyes, I could just stare, and it's just like feel something very powerful spiritually. So yeah, good protect. Cats are good protectors. Yeah, they actually will protect you against anything evil, bad eyes, or if there's a bad energy or spirit around you. They take it. They certainly take it and protect you. A lot of Russians, a lot of Russian women here, even men here, um, they will all feed the cats. They will all have a cat, and they will all tell you the same thing. Russians believe in it very seriously. I've had cats around me. I now, because of my dogs here, I've had them. They're sitting underneath my house every day. Um, Oddly enough, two of them were coming up to my door the other day. They were actually coming up the stairs. Um, they will come around and they will show you the one thing. The beauty about cats is they pick their humans. I've said this before. Dogs, you could pick out a dog. They're like, cat ball, you gotta take me home. You got some meat. You got some food. They just want love. They're little dingies, ding dongs. They having fun with you. A cat is. You can't describe what it's like to sit and watch if you haven't. Those who have know what I'm talking about. So just sit and just watch what a cat will do. They have such a personality. They're almost real human. I mean, they have personalities. If they don't like you, they're not going to come near you. They pick their owner out. They're great. But like I said, the funny thing is if you go to a shelter and try to pick out a cat, either they like you or they don't. You'll know either you connect with them or you don't connect with them. This is the way that they are. And I really feel when a cat comes into your life, like you adopted 3 of them, Local, you have one, Ganja, you have one. I mean, there's no coincidence for it. They spiritually, I feel they're very connected spiritually, and they will find their owner. Somehow, some way, they manage to do it. They will come into your life and they're going to stay with you. And believe me, they will protect you. When they say attack cats, believe me, your cat can protect you better than a dog. Also, and I hate to say it, I really do because it's sad. It happened a few times when my kids were playing in the street. An animal, whether it's a cat, a dog, or something else, if a child or somebody is meant to get hurt, they will take it. Unfortunately, I have to say it like that. They will take their lives and step in front. It's a known fact. I think anybody who knows animals know that they. You ever hear the thing like if a cat gets hit by a car, you might hear a neighbor or someone say, "Oh, that was probably meant for a child or something. They took it." It's true. Yeah, cats are very spiritual. They're very connected to the spiritual world. I mean, super connected. And if you watch your cat long enough, they will give you some sort of uh, messages throughout the day. I'm sure, Local, you have seen some messages through your cat. Yes, yes, cats, Local, they will, but you have to be open to it too. A lot of people say, well, I don't see signs. Look what the cat's doing. You will see signs. Okay. I had this one cat named Shelby. It was red and white. It was huge. I took it from a pet store after 2 or 3 people had adopted it and brought it back and said the cat was crazy. To this day, I miss the cat. It died when I moved here. Really was messed up over this cat. I mean, it was like this cat, I would turn dates down just to hang out with the cat because I figured my dates were going to be bad anyway. I literally got a cat stroller. And I used to walk my cat near the ocean. And it had an inside and an outside. And she would stay inside because it was hot and under the shade. And then when we got to the ocean, he would come out and look. Yeah, I gotten pathetically crazy and was taking walks with my cat. I think I had a period of time I was a nut job, but my cat enjoyed it, and I love to make my cat happy. No, animals can understand what you say. Yeah, I don't understand. People have this fear. You've heard that too, Network. What is with people going? Oh, I don't like cats. Why do you touch that stray cat? They think it's diseased or something. They grow up with this myth that it's bad. Part of me laughs at it, and part of me feels sorry that you don't see the beauty in it. Cats, they will pick you out, like I said, and when they do, um, they own you. Like you are in control of a dog. When a cat picks you out, you are at that cat's beck and call. Somehow it just works that way. It just seems that cat has you under some sort of mystical, mesmerized control. And don't tell me not, because how many of you with the cats find yourself saying, I can't do this because of the cat, or I have to go here. The cat will totally control you. But it's a good thing, because cats are good and I like cats. It is a beautiful bond. I mean, totally a beautiful bond. And you see how just the simple thing of you giving your pet 5 minutes of your time, how happy they are. When you see that and you're feeling down, ask yourself, am I being selfish that I want a little bit more when my animal just wants 5 minutes of attention? You see what I'm saying? Life would be so much simpler.